Today class, from the previous videos, we have learned that the development between 365 to 960 AD. In these 700 years, there were a lot of achievements, a lot of developments and improvements in Chinese medicine. And when you go to the next stage, from 960 to 1368 AD, there were phenomenal improvements in Chinese medicine in both the medical system and the theory of Chinese medicine. You need to remember that at that time, Chinese medicine was the only medical system in China that make the Chinese medicine responsible for the public health. For example, in the year 1102, there were charity hospitals. There was also old aged home that's set up by the government and also some privately. In 1249, there were one departments set up for the orphans, also for the medical health. Apart from these public health services and medical educations, another improvement here is the establishment of the national pharmacy. The national pharmacy was set out by the government because the government felt that the quality of herbal medicine, especially for the proprietary medicine, the quality varies a lot. Some are very effective, some are not so effective. So the government decided to set up a national pharmacy. The government make the authority of producing, manufacturing herbal medicine back to the government. In this way, the quality can be controlled. We still have a lot of very good quality herbal medicine, especially for the proprietary medicine from this period. The prescriptions and the formulas. Some commonly used formulas were from this period. The development of the medical education. We talked about in the previous videos that the medical education were herbal medicine, acupuncture, and cupping. And now, as the time developed, the medical education become more in details. For example, we talk about herbal medicine, we talk about stroke. So they specialize in wind stroke. They have pediatrics, they have gynecologics, they have ophthalmologists, they have dentists. They also have the specialty of obstetrics, specialty of acupuncture and moxibustion. So as you can see, these developments from the medical education become more and more in details, and some practitioners can specialize in certain field. The textbooks still 黄帝内经, 针灸甲乙经, and also there's some herbal medicine books that were compiled during this period, the comprehensive medical books. During this period, apart from these improvements that's achieved by the government, there were also some of them worth to mention. For example, in 1057 AD, the Medical Books Corrective Bureau was set up by the government. As we discussed previously when we talked about the accomplishments of Chinese medicine. From 黄帝内经, when we have the written records, 475 BC, to 1057 AD. That's almost 1,500 years. After this long time, the practitioners they realized that there were many mistakes in the medical books. So the government set up a medical books corrective bureau to collate the medical books. Another reason for this is the practitioner, the background of the practitioners has changed a lot. From the beginning until 960 AD, most of the Chinese medicine practitioners were only practitioners. They study Chinese medicine, they study acupuncture directly. From 960 AD, from this period, there were so many people that study for literature, or they were educated in literature, in Chinese literature. They studied to be officers for the government. They changed their focus. They focusing on Chinese medicine. So during this period, the background of the Chinese medicine practitioner changed a lot. There were many educated people to be the practitioners. This also improved the quality of the medical books. This is very similar nowadays when we study Chinese medicine. You can just imagine if someone study in English literature, they specialize in English literature, they study Chinese medicine, the words they write, the medical books they write, and someone else, they were not educated. They only study the medical books. They don't have a lot of knowledge of the literature. You can see their writings, you can see their theories. Although they may have some experience, clinical experience, but the theories is not as good as the one who are educated. So the something changes during this period. 太平盛会坊. This book was completed a total 100 volumes, including 16,834 prescriptions. Still remember that Dr. Sun Simiao in Tang Dynasty, in Qianjin Yaofang, he collected 6,500 different prescriptions. After a few hundred years later, more than 10,000 prescriptions were collected. 1,670 chapters and topic on pulse science, prescriptions, material medicals, internal diseases, traumatic diseases. So this was one of the most comprehensive medical books. When we talk about one of the classic, 伤寒杂病论, we said that's the first volume Dr. Wang Shuhe compiled that collated, but the second volume was lost. And until now, a medical book corrective bureau was set up, and then these doctors, they work for the government, they work in the National Library, and when they collated these books, they found one rotten bamboo. They found one rotten books in a corner. When they found the books, they realized that was the second volume of 伤寒杂病论. So also from this bureau, they publish the second volume of 伤寒杂病论. It names 金匮要略. 金匮要略. So that's another achievement of this medical bureau. There were so many books that were lost, but this medical bureau, when they compiled the books, they kept the content of those books. Next one, there were so many comprehensive books during this period because most of these books were focused on herbal medicine, so we don't introduce specificity. The second one, 圣济总录, there were 200 volumes, nearly 20,000 prescriptions, including 30 topics: internal medicine, external medicine, acupuncture, and health maintenance, how to keep healthy, how to be longevity. Another one we need to mention is 洗冤集录. This was the earliest monograph on forensic medicine. It was from 1200 AD. There were many developments on acupuncture and moxibustion. Just to name a few, Dr. Wang Weiyi, Dr. Wang, and the Acupuncture Bronze Man in 1027 AD. The Acupuncture Bronze Man, we have a model in our museum, so you can have a look there. But the model was much smaller than this one. This bronze man was made as the same size of our human being. There were two initially. One was kept in the medical bureau, the Imperial Medical Bureau for the medical education. The second was sent to one temple for the to pray for the country. So that's in the past. What happens to this model? This model will covers with all the acupoints, so you can see all these acupoints on top of the body. What's special here is this model was empty inside, so you can pour water or other liquids inside the body, and then all these points were sealed by wax. So these were sealed. During the medical examinations, you need to use the acupuncture needle to insert into the body. You don't see the holes, the acupoints, because they were sealed. If you get the correct points, the liquids inside the model will come out. If you mix the points, the needle won't go in because it is made of bronze. So as you can see, this is very strict. This is even more strict than our assessment today. Unfortunately, this bronze model lost. So nowadays we have the copy, but not the original ones. This is also the earliest medical model for medical educations. The second book from Wang Zizong. This daughter compiled another book, 针灸资生经, in 1165 AD. 针灸, acupuncture and moxibustion. So this is a monograph on acupuncture and moxibustion. He also specialized in acupuncture and moxibustion. In this book, he has added a lot of experience from the public and his own experience. He also proposed the measurement from the same human body. So he used the measurement from the middle finger to measure the individuals. This kind of measurement we still use today. So in future, when we study the acupuncture and moxibustion, we will study the measurements from Dr. Wang in 1165 AD. In this book, there was 5 volumes discussed about acupuncture. There was about 193 different diseases were treated by acupuncture. So this book tells you what condition you can use which acupoints. So we can use this as a references for your clinical practices. 窦沫 and 标优夫. 窦沫 was another famous doctor in 1190 and 128 to 1280 AD. He also specialized in acupuncture. 标优夫. This is an article. This article, he compiled this article. He wrote this article in the way of a song. So you can actually sing the song of this article. And when you sing the song, the lyrics with all the acupoints and the functions. So it makes it very easy to remember. And also he proposed the 5 Su points. In future, we're going to study the 5 Su points, the function of the 5 Su points. 华寿 was another important practitioner during this period. He compiled 14经法会 14 经 meridian. So previously we said we got 12 meridians or 12 main meridians. Now he proposed that we have 14 per meridians. The reason is because in the actual meridians, we got 2 actual meridians, which are from the front of the body and the back of the body, Ren meridian, consecutive meridian, and governor meridians. These 2 meridians are actual meridians. However, because they have fixed location and have a lot of points on the meridian, so Dr. Hua, he proposed that we can say 14 meridians. This thoughts will carry on until today. Sometimes we still say we have 14 meridians. So that's the thought from here. Dr. Hua Shou also determined, he studied the previous books, he determined all those acupoints, the meridians. Where does the meridian start? Where does it end? So he also drew the images. So these are the achievements from this book. These are all focused on acupuncture. 文人奇, the next one. Dr. Wen, he compiled 备急修法, 备急, prepare, 急 emergency, 救 motivation. So in this book, Dr. Wen always used motivation for emergency, and this book was published in 1226. Nowadays, we still can use this information for your practice. The last one we're going to introduce in this slide is 子午流注 acupuncture. 子午流注. This acupuncture, if you are interested in, this is an acupuncture method, a needling technique that's according to the time of the day, the time of the year. So this is just one school of acupuncture. From this school, they don't care about what kind of diseases, but they choose specific points at specific time. So it depends on which time you come to the practitioner. They use specific points. The theory behind this 子午流注 is from that they believe during the day the qi and blood flow in the meridian, they got different qi and blood flow. For example, between 3 to 5 o'clock, that's the so between 3 to 5 in the morning, that's the lung, and go to the 5 to 7 o'clock to the large intestine, 7 to 9 o'clock is stomach. So they choose the points that's specific to treat the lung problem during this period. They don't care what kind of diseases, but they based on the time. So this is one school of acupuncture. Some practitioners nowadays still use or they still apply this method in their practice. In these 400 years, there were many developments in all different fields, such as the fields of internal medicine, external medicine, pediatrics, and gynecology. Although we didn't introduce one by one in our videos because we have very limited time for the history of Chinese medicine, you're more than welcome to read by yourself. There were a few theoretical schools that have been developed during this period, and these schools are very important even today. So we're going to introduce some of the theories, and in future you also can use some of them to apply in your practice. The first one, Liu Wan Shu, that's the name of the daughter. He proposed that the fire and heat theory, in Chinese, 火热论, 火 is the fire, 热 is heat, 论 is the theory or discussion. So he proposed, he said that the pathogens, in future you will know that we talk about the pathogens, the wind, the dampness, the dryness, and the coldness. He proposed that all these pathogens, after accumulation, can be transformed into fire, and the fire and the heat. The fire and heat are similar, and fire can in other way create or make worse for the wind, the coldness, the dryness. So in his treatment, he focused on clearing the heat. He used cold herbs, the herbs with cold property, to clear the heat. So in future, if you use acupuncture, although he focused on the herbal medicine, the theory, mostly the theory applied in herbal medicine, you also may apply this theory in acupuncture. For example, if you see a patient with a red tongue, coughing with a yellow phlegm, a lot of yellow phlegm, it might be due to the fire, due to the heat. You can use the acupuncture points that can relieve the heat, or the acupuncture points has the property of cold. Then you can use this theory to treat the disease. The second one is 张元素. 张元素is the name. 脏腑 Sungjun differentiation theory. 张元素has further developed the theory of the 脏腑 organs as well as the theory of materia medica. So what kinds of phenomena, what kinds of symptoms that we see from the patient can reflect in which organ? Zhang Yuanshu has discussed this theory in very detail. Some of these theories are the developments from 黄帝内经. So we still studying, when we study the 脏腑 theory, we still study the Sungjun differentiation, how to differentiate the different Sungjun according to the 脏腑. Also from the treatments, different herbal medicine have different function towards the specific organs. For example, some 黄芩, for example, although you might not understand the term, 黄芩, 黄连, 黄柏, these three herbs, or herb A, B, and C, these three herbs has similar function of clearing heat. So when you got excess fire or excess heat, these three herbs can use for this heat. However, one herbs go to the lung, the other will go to the heart, and the last go to the liver. So how do you know which herbs go to where? That's from the theory of 张元素. Also from this theory, you also can apply this similar theory to acupuncture. For example, a patient suffers from heat. Is it a lung heat, stomach heat, or a heart fire, or liver fire? Then once you conclude to the syndrome, the 脏腑 syndrome, you can choose different acupuncture points for these treatments. For example, you can use lung, the points on the lung meridian for the lung heat, the points on the liver meridian for the liver fire. So these are the theory from the syndrome differentiation. The next one, 张从正. For the Zhang pathogens elimination theory, he believed that's why we become sick, because the pathogen, because there was some pathogen invade the human being. So he proposed to use some herbal medicine to cause vomiting, sweating, or diarrhea. As you can see, all these methods have the chance of going out from the human body to go out from your mouth, from your skin, sweating, or from your stool, diarrhea. So he thought, he believed this kind of methods can eliminate the pathogen and the patient may recover. So nowadays we still use some of these theories. For example, a patient suffers from fever. We will use some method that to cause sweating, and then the fever can be healed. This is also the thought, not specifically for the pathogen, but we think about the fever, not specifically for the fever, for the temperature, because for the fever, we think that there may be some pathogens invade the human body. We use sweating methods to get the pathogen out of the body. So this theory was from Dr. Zhang Chongzheng. Li Gao. He proposed the spleen and stomach theory, 脾胃论, 脾 spleen, 胃 stomach 论 discussion. So he says that all diseases were because of the deficiency of the spleen and stomach. Because the spleen and stomach are where the nutrition comes from. If the digestive system has problem, you have diseases. So in his treatments, he focused on strengthening the spleen function, the stomach function. And in future, when we study, you will know the spleen and stomach considered as earth in 5 elements. So this theory also calls the tonifying earth theory. This theory also commonly used nowadays, and also this theory can be applied especially in Africa. For example, the poverty in Africa will cause malnutrition. The malnutrition and may result in all different diseases. Thus, in Chinese medicine, the theory is the spleen and stomach deficiency. So in your treatments, you need to use either acupuncture or herbal medicine to tonify the spleen and stomach to recover the spleen and stomach function. Then the patient can be healthy. Zhu Zhengheng has the theory of minister fire. This is quite complicated because we don't have enough time to discuss this in detail. All these theory, you can have like one semester course to discuss these theories. Here we just give you a very brief introduction. You have just a general impression on these theories. At least you remember the names. Ministry fire refers to the kidney fire. So when we study the 5 elements, we will know in the body we got the heart fire, that's the fire. We also got the kidney fire. This fire is minister fire. And in here theory, the heart fire and the kidney fire have some relationship. They must interact to each other, otherwise you will be sick. So that's in his treatments. He focused on the function of kidney fire. The kidney fire also may be caused from the excessive emotion. So the emotional problem, the improper diet, all these can cause ministry fire. So that also can use as a guidance of the diet. Wang Haoguo, the last theory in this period, 因证论, 因生证 theory. This theory is very similar to Zhu Zhengheng. These two theories are focusing on the kidney and liver yin minister fire, also due to yin deficiency. So these two are focused on kidney and liver yin. As you can see, when you hear all these theories, you may be confused. From 黄帝内经, we said that diseases were from the different pathogens, the climate changes. And then from here, we introduce quite a few theoretical schools. For example, disease due to fire, disease due to different 脏腑 organs function, disease due to pathogens, disease due to spleen and stomach, the deficiency of spleen and stomach, and now we said the kidney. So it may be confused. We see the disease, that's only one disease, one. Why you got all these different theories to analyze this same disease? One of the reasons is because all these theories develop in different periods of time. The development of the theory will be affected by the society. For example, during this period, Li Gao, when he says the spleen and stomach theory, that you need to tonify the spleen function, the stomach function, you need to tonify the digestive function in order to be healthy. The reason for this is because we need to understand the background of Li Gao. In this period, before Li Gao, there were many wars in China. Although small wars, but the wars will cause hunger. So after the wars, the people there, they don't have enough food to eat. And all this hunger will cause spleen and digestive problems. So most patients that Li Gao saw were due to spleen and stomach theory. That's why he proposed the treatments according to the symptoms. He proposed the treatments to tonify the spleen and stomach. And again, to Liu Wanshu, when he proposed the fire and heat theory, one of the background is at that time, many practitioners focused on tonifying. They want to create the heat in the body. That's on the other hand, which means Liu Wanshu, when he saw the patient, many patients came from excess heat. For instance, many patients come with the symptoms of excess heat, red eyes, red tongue, constipation, bad mouth smell, all these excess heat symptoms. That's due to the prevalent habits of other practitioners. They prefer to use hot herbs. So these are different backgrounds of the practitioners and also the backgrounds of the theoretical development. The communication with foreign countries has been very popular during this period. For example, in the year 1015, the King of Korea requested 100 medical books to be sent to Korea as gift. In the year 1101, the Emperor of China sent another 1,000 medical books to Korea. In the 11th century, the Korean government published many medical books of Chinese medicine. And also the practitioners in Korea, they compile their own medical books according to Chinese medicine. In the year 1093, the King of Korea sent another precious book back to China because at that time, this book was lost. This is the second volume of 黄帝内经. So the second volume of 黄帝内经 was actually from Korea because the original one in China was lost. We can see in different books the records from different books, but we don't have a full volume of those, and this was sent back to China from Korea in the year of 1093. Apart from the books, the communication from the books, there were many communications on the herbal medicine, and also because the communication the previous period, many Korean medicine had been absorbed in Chinese medicine. So the Chinese medicine practitioner used a lot of Korean herbs. The communication between China and Japan. There were also Japanese practitioners that compile their medical books according to Chinese medicine, as we still can see today. Apart from the medical book from China to Japan, the Japanese medical books also were introduced to China. So the Chinese government, especially the Song government, they published a lot of medical books, including Japanese medical books. The communication between China and Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia. This is because of the advanced sailing technique in this period. You can see from the records of the ports. In one port in southeast of China, Quanzhou Port, the document there, in the year 1130, the Quanzhou Port imported 43,000 kilo ruxiang. So this was one of the herbal medicine. One single herbal medicine, 43,000 kilo. In the year 1155, the same port from Vietnam was imported 31,000 kilos. So just use this as an example. You will see the volume, the large volume of the trade from the trading. You will see the communications between these countries. The China and Arabia. During this period, not only the medical books and the herbal medicine were introduced in these two areas, from China to Arabia, from Arabia to China. In this period, there were even some Arabic practitioners. They practiced Arabian medicine in China, and these were recorded in some of the Chinese medical books. In this video, we have introduced some developments during the year of 960 to 1368. In the next video, we're going to introduce in the next period between 1068 to 1840. Thank you for your attention.